As you know, the XJTLU is developing every day, and from the beginning of this semester, we do have some updates for our admission policies and entry requirement. This is the reason that we are here to host the new webinar for the new semester to help you better understand everything that you need to know about XJTLU. So today, we also invited our two old friends. That's old. So our two old friends, Miss Kirsty Madsen, the head of X Global Office, and also a very experienced supporting officer, Miss Marcus Davis. So they're going to work together to introduce you everything about XJTLU. So before we enter into our presentation, so I'm going to play a short video about XJTLU and let you know what we are doing to reshaping our education.
Future is next year or next moment. AI will transform the education from knowledge feeding to people development to adapt to the quickly development of the world. University should be redefined. XJTLU is trying very hard to reflect what's the future education and reshape the learning and the teaching.
The world is no longer a little oyster. Everything is international. We are combining the holistic approach to education of the East with a more analytical approach of the West.
After joining XJTLU and studying with teachers and classmates worldwide, my world expanded. I gained a more diverse perspective and many new ideas.
Before coming to XJTLU, I was already very excited about China's Asian culture. To my surprise though, when I came here, I was also able to witness a lot of advanced technology.
The future society is an ecological society oriented by science and technology. We invite students to think of ways to best integrate and collaborate with AI and robots and strengthen the most human parts in the system.
XJTLU is intended to broaden students' research horizon across disciplinaries.
When we put all the expertise together, this helps the students to work as a group and come up with the better solutions.
Many students will worry about the future, but here in XJTLU, we welcome you to the real industry.
Because in future, the boundary between university and society will disappear.
Our faculty, they are internationally renowned researchers. They truly care for our students.
We always appreciate their ideas. Even some crazy idea, you never know, it might happen. This is how the Nobel Prize has been given, because it might become a real.
Through our collaboration with XJTLU, we have improved our industry ecosystem. We can share cutting-edge research findings with students. The students can also infuse our projects with innovative thinking.
Our professors don't force-feed knowledge to us. Instead, they guide and support us in realizing our dreams based on our needs. They make learning experience so fun and provide us extra information about our future career paths that I really, really love.
XJTLU taught me critical thinking and lifelong learning. Through the learning mode, I could acquire new skills and interacting with teachers and alumni every year after graduation.
The students and the professors are always growing together as a community. We're constantly learning from them, improving and adapting our offerings.
You can feel that this university is alive. It's a constantly integrating, self-involving platform, enabling them to act, feel, and think about themselves in new ways. This process always empowers our students.
Certainly in the future, we would face a lot of challenges. Do your best to make a contribution to the future. You would find more opportunities, more colorful, exciting future journey. We would have more competitive global citizen, which will help us to develop a better world for the future. That's my passion.
So now we're going to have Kirsty to start her presentation to introduce the life in Suzhou and and general information about XJTLU.
Good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for the introduction. I will be annoyed later about we are the old staff. So let me explain who we are and what XJTLU is. Actually, I do feel like an old staff. So I've worked at XJTLU for about 13 years. The university is around 17 years old in total. So we're actually a very young university, but during those 17 years, we've become extremely successful. So we're now the biggest international university in China, probably, I would say, the biggest international university in Asia. I don't know that for a fact, but I guess we probably are or very much soon will be. So we were founded back in 2004 or 2006 in Suzhou, which is a city I'll talk a bit more about in a minute, which is near to Shanghai. We were founded by two parent universities. They're our founding university parents, we call them. One is Xi'an Liverpool University, one is Xi'an University, and the other is University of Liverpool in the UK. So for those of you who know about the education system in China, Xi'an is one of the top 8 C8 universities, so one of the high-level, ultra top Chinese universities, based in Xi'an in the center of China, the old capital of China. And University of Liverpool is a top British university from the UK, ranks around under top 200 in the world. So these two top universities came together and opened this new concept, this new campus, Xi'an Liverpool University. And we're founded in Suzhou. Why are we in Suzhou, not Xi'an? Because Suzhou is the part of China where it's got the highest and fastest rate of economic development. So we're located in the Yangtze River Delta, which in itself has got an economy that is bigger than most European countries, just this small region. So we're located here because this is where most of the high-tech industry, most of the advanced educational resources, a large number of job opportunities and very, very rapid development has been located in the last 30 to 40 years. So I'll say a little bit more about where we're located, but first let me just say what the benefits of our origin story is, having these two big, successful, highly successful, world-renowned university partners. So we have basically inherited from these parents different traits. You get different things from your mum and different things from your dad, let's say. But the combination is quite interesting when you're a student here. So I would say from Liverpool, we have inherited all of the UK high quality level of education, the quality assurance. So everything is regulated, the programs are well organized, the assessments are marked by several rounds of people. So there's a very high level of standardization, fairness, process. So you know exactly what you're going to study from the beginning to the end. You know how you're going to achieve the learning outcomes. You know what the program's going to be like. It's guaranteed in a way. And that's often what international students like about the UK higher education system. It's very quality controlled. What about Xi'an? Well, this brings this foundational research basis and all of these connections in China and this weight of what I would say is the robustness of the Chinese educational foundation. So this means that all of the things that China is famous for, Chinese students ranking top in the world for maths, Chinese students ranking top in the world, this robustness, this work ethic, this kind of capacity to really, really exceed, this is what we get from Xi'an. So you can see that the combination of the two is quite useful for students. You are pushed, I think, to achieve more as a student than you would do in a standard Chinese university or in a standard UK university. And how can I prove this? So one statistic I can use to prove this is that most of our Chinese students, not all of our international students, because it's not so necessary for the job market, but for Chinese students, they need to do a master's degree to enter the job market. So almost all our Chinese students do a master's degree. And where do they go to for these master's degrees? Around 36% of our students go to the top 10 universities in the world: Harvard, Oxford, Yale. That's where they're going in large numbers, large numbers. So it shows, I think, that our students are achieving academically very, very highly and really outcompeting many of their competitor students in China and indeed anywhere else in the world. So I'll say more about Suzhou. So I'm obviously not Chinese, I'm from the UK, but I've lived very happily in Suzhou for 15 years. And I'll probably just show you some of the pictures and why I think it's a great city as a great city for an international student. So here on this slide, you can see two pictures. You can see very contrasting pictures. The old town of Suzhou. Suzhou is one of the oldest cities in the world. It's older than most parts of ancient Rome, Italy and Greece. Egypt, it's that old. It's a very, very ancient city. And the old town has got many of the old core still remaining. And then around the old city, on both sides, there's a new city, less than 25 years old. And the new city is probably where the universities, the businesses, factories, the shopping, the malls, most of that is located in the new city. And it's where we're located is in Suzhou Industrial Park. When you hear SIP, Suzhou Industrial Park, you think industry, you think, I don't know, factories and dirt. It's not like that at all, not at all like that. In fact, I don't think I can think where the nearest factory is. There aren't any factories. What it means is industry and the concept of economic activity. So banks, there's research lab, development sites, there's all sorts of stuff happening here. Big international companies that you'll be familiar with have got their basic logistical R&D, all of these things happening in Suzhou. It's the headquarters for many companies around China and around Asia that chose Suzhou as its location. Let's see if we've got any more pictures. So you can see here the statistics. So we've got 12 million people in Suzhou. It doesn't feel like a very big city, even though 12 million is a lot of people. It's spread out over quite a wide area. So you don't feel like it's a crowded city. It feels, nearest place it feels to, in my opinion, is Singapore, because it's got a very similar urban design plan. So in Singapore, you've got a lot of attention is paid to parkland and leisure facilities and streets where you can cycle and you can walk. Good public transport. This is also very what Suzhou feels like when you're living here. It's ranked, I think, as the most livable city in China last year or recently. And we are located 25 minutes by high-speed train from Shanghai, which is a huge city, and you definitely feel it's got 25 million people, but also a really great city for leisure, for entertainment, for culture, for business contacts, for internships. Shanghai is really probably the #1 city in China for all of those things. We have some of the history. So as I mentioned, Suzhou's got a very long history. There's some pictures here of the old town. Our students very much, I think, enjoy at the weekends being able to go to the old town. It's about 30 minutes on the public bus, which costs like 10 cents. And then you can be a tourist. And lots of tourists come to Suzhou on the weekend, but you can live in a tourist site. And I think that's very nice, especially when your family are visiting. And Suzhou is also built in, it's not what you expect, it's built in a kind of area where there's a lot of lakes and hills. So even when you're in the city, you can sort of easily get to the countryside within about 30 minutes by car. You can be in some of the beautiful countryside. So it's also really great for hiking, there's some, like in the winter, there are some indoor ski resorts. So it's a lot of things, different things happening. In the summer, there's quite a lot of water sports. And in terms of being an international student, you will find yourself in an international community. So there are 28,000 foreign trade companies in Suzhou. There's actually around, I think, about 40,000 registered foreign citizens in Suzhou Industrial Park. So you'll find people from all over the world. And because of that, many services such as restaurants, supermarkets exist to cater for that business. So if you want Mexican food, you can get Mexican food. If you want Indonesian food, you can. There is one place with an Indonesian chef. So you can kind of find like this connection to your own country. There's Russian restaurants, pretty much every country I can think of. Well, not every country, but you will find a lot. It's a very international environment in terms of like food, leisure, meeting people. Okay, let's go back to XJTLU directly. So we have at the moment around 25,000 students. 26,000 students. We've grown. Every year we grow. And we have two campuses, and we'll talk about our two campuses later. And within these campuses, we're teaching pretty much all the academic subjects that you would imagine a university would teach. I'll tell you the ones we do not do. We do not do medicine, veterinary sciences, or law. Those are the areas that we do not teach. Everything else you'll find at XJTLU. What shall I say? So let me explain what it means by being a tier 1 university in China. So we in China are recognized under the Chinese Ministry of Education as an independent university. We're not a branch campus of Liverpool, and we're not a branch campus of Xi'anjiaotong. We have the right to issue our own degrees. So when you come to XJTLU, you get 2 degrees when you graduate from an undergraduate program. You get the University of Liverpool degree and you get the XJTLU degree. We are quite famous in China for being the highest tier international university. That means if you're a Chinese student and you're coming to XJTLU, you have to get a very, very high score on your Gaokao. It's the university entrance exam. You've got to get into the very top bracket. That is probably different from other new international universities where the admission requirements for the local students may not be as high as that. So that means we're quite prestigious in China in terms of our student quality, which is important for the quality, the recognition of your degree after you graduate. You'll find that employers and universities, other universities in the world, will see that this is a very high quality university degree that you have achieved. President Notar.
So, this is where I'm listed here.
So I will move a little
for the next 9 pages. Which way is forward?
That one is forward.
Thank you. Am I on camera or Kirsty? Oh, you've got a remote control.
Just look at
Hi,
that.
folks. The camera is on its way, apparently. So I'm going to go through some of the physical aspects of the university and campus life. We've got 3 campuses. 2 of them are here and are just separated by a road. And here is Suzhou Industrial Park, SIP. One of them, which is called Taisang, which we'll go into detail later on in the presentation, is between us and Shanghai. So it's kind of convenient for both of those locations. These photographs you're seeing on the slide now are SIP, so Suzhou SIP as opposed to Suzhou Taishan. You'll see various photos of facilities and accommodation and so on over the next few slides. So I'm going to press on to the next button. We live in hope. Yes, it's worked. Okay. So what you're looking at now is our library in SIP. It's in fact about 50 meters from where we're sitting right now, isn't it? Yeah. And so the library is traditional in the sense that it actually has books and journals in it. It's also incredibly modern with computer learning spaces. And it's also quite personal in that it's got lots of private study space for individual work or student group work. So all of the best features of traditional and modern are available in here. And some of the facilities we have for studying in a more modern way include things like a virtual learning environment and our brand new artificial intelligence generative software, if I can get that right. That's what it is, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Or generative artificial intelligence software, I think I meant to say. Next up, we've got some of the scientific equipment you're going to find. Again, I believe all of these are here in SIP, and we've got a range of science programs that have lots of science labs, physics labs, biology labs, chemistry labs. We've also, of course, got computing labs, robotics labs, materials labs, and places where architects build stuff, like houses and things like that. And it's all robots and computers and everything. The great thing, like Kirsty said, is we're a new university, we're a young university, which means everything has been built recently, which actually means everything works and everything is cutting edge. This is not a universal truth in education, as you may know. So you will enjoy the very best scientific equipment and study equipment. There's more here coming up. I think what I like most here, and anyone can visit it, the top left, in our School of Film and Television Arts, they actually make TV shows. And what you can see in that slide up there is a great big long television studio, which can be used for projection and green screen, and students make real TV shows and real movies there as part of their projects. And in support of that, on the bottom right, is the cinema, which we built. So students can actually screen their movies in a very professional way. There's more lab space, there's teaching space, and in the middle bottom photo here, that long black patch of wall is actually one of the more modern screens. So we're not using chalk and blackboards here. It's all electronic digital computers and projectors, which are very, very popular with both teachers and students. We've also got a very well-equipped and very successful sports community here. There's a great range of sports available in our sport building in SIP. Outside, there's the classics, football, tennis, running, gymnastics, hockey, etc. And inside the building, there's a health gym. I'm going to not get all of this. Badminton, basketball, pool, ping pong, wall climbing, golf, dancing,
archery,
martial arts, and ballet,
volleyball. Anyway,
lots of
swimming pool in Taishan.
And in Taishan, yes, which I think is on the later slide, but there's an Olympic swimming pool. The student community is very, very important. The lifestyle. We have 270 clubs run by and for our students. So there's basically not a hobby in the world or an interest which doesn't have a club here that you can join. 270 now. Yeah. Now, let's have a quick look at where you might be sleeping. Accommodation is a few minutes walk up the road or a brief free bicycle ride. Every single student in our local parfait accommodation at SIP has an ensuite bedroom, which means you have your own shower, your own sink, your own toilet facilities. You have a study desk, you have a bunk bed, a wardrobe, and a small balcony. But the two photographs on the right are the communal areas of the apartments. So there'll be 4 bedrooms possibly in an apartment, and you share a TV area, a dining area, and a functional kitchen. So there's a good combination of privacy and company. So you can really get to know your flatmates well. It is, as I say, a stone's throw from the university. And if you compare it to many, many countries' student accommodation, it is remarkably affordable. So most students pay approximately $2,000 a month to live in the accommodation. $2,000 is about $260 American, $270. Yeah, about $260, $270. I was talking to some students yesterday about the cost of living, and we were actually on the subject of electricity. And I was talking about how expensive it is in England now for electricity. And the students who live here were telling me they paid 100 RMB, which is about $13, in September, and it ran out in January. So September, October, November, this 4 months for 100 RMB electricity.
They didn't turn the heating on much.
Well, the funny you should say that. This was someone who said, and my partner lived in the shower and we had heating on all day, every day. So it's incredible. I was very astonished at how good value that is. So that's very good news indeed. And we've got one more in my little section here, I believe. Here it is. Now, in the Taishan campus, that's the one I mentioned, which is between us here and Shanghai. There's also student accommodation. Now, it's a slightly different design. You can share with a friend, and there's 2 beds in the bedroom, 2 study desks, 2 wardrobes, and 1 shared bathroom. And that will cost you 6,000 RMB, about $700 per year, not per month, for the whole year, which is quite incredibly priced. If you decide to take a room on your own without a flatmate, you pay 14,000 RMB, or about $1,500, $1,600 US. And that's, again, for the whole year. That's not for 1 month, that's for the whole year. So these kind of prices are what, in many countries, some students are paying for a few weeks, not for a whole year. And of course, the Taishan accommodation building is a couple of minutes walk from campus, off-road walking. You know, it's a path. Yeah, it's in the campus. It's off-road walking, so there's no traffic or anything. And it's only very recently opened. So everything is brand spanking new in there, which is lovely.
Yeah, it's very nice.
It's very nice indeed. My final page is to say that our students don't go hungry. There are a vast range of eating options in Suzhou, as Kirsty's already mentioned, but luckily a good range actually on the campus. So we have international fast food chains like Starbucks and Subway. We have local chains like Mersey Cafe, and this one appears to be called Young Coffee. I've not actually been there. We have student canteens, where much more traditional, where you've got a range of mini shops, and you can choose a variety of cuisines. I think most of it is Suzhou and Chinese, but it's unbelievably cheap for a meal there, a couple of dollars really. And at both of the student accommodations, there are eating areas right next door as well, with a great range of choices. In SIP, at a conservative guess, I'll say 15 restaurants, and in Taisang, I'll say 10, approximately that. So there's plenty of eating choices. There's, of course, mini marts and supermarkets, very, very convenient as well. And in Suzhou, about every 20 yards, there's a Starbucks or a McDonald's. You're never going to go hungry here.
There's a McDonald's on the Taisang campus.
There is.
Yeah.
We were there. There is indeed. So, yeah, there's plenty of choices. Right, so this one is back to you. So I'm going to press the button and give it to you. There you go.
So let's just wait for the camera to come round. So, as I mentioned before, one of the reasons why students choose XJTLU, Chinese students and international students, is because of the quality assurance. This is a strange phrase, quality assurance. What does it mean? It means trust that you have, that future employers have, that the degree that you are awarded is real, has been taught well, you've learnt lots of useful things, and you've attended the degree, and that the degree is going to give you the skills that you require for entering the job market. So what do employers like to see when they're looking at students who've applied for jobs? Graduates, when you graduate, you've applied for jobs. So one is the ranking of the university. You know, if you go to Harvard, I guess it's very easy to get a job. And another thing is the accreditations that the degree and the university have. So we are a new university. We're less than 20 years old. We have a ranking in China that's in the top 30, I think. Did you say? But in terms of like the big rankings, QS ranking, Times Higher ranking, I think we're around 1,000 because we're new.
I think it's worth pointing out that being in the top 30 in China is out of a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because often if you're British, you might think there's only 100 universities, but there is a lot.
There's hundreds. So in terms of like your international ranking, the Times Higher and the QS rankings, XJTLU is in the top 1,000, but not the top 200 like Liverpool. Your Liverpool degree is in the top 200. Xianjiao is in the top 400. So what we have paid a lot of attention to while we build our research up to get into these higher rankings, which we are doing every year, is each program applies for these accreditations, which give them this quality assurance that employers and other universities, if you apply for a PhD or a master's, like to see. So you can see on the slide here which ones we have. So if you go to our business school, International Business School Suzhou, we have what's called a Triple Crown. Triple Crown are the 3 main accreditations that are available in the world, in the US and in Europe. And very, very few business schools in the world have got the so-called Triple Crown. Our business school is the youngest business school in the world to have achieved the Triple Crown accreditation. And that means it's in the top 1% of business schools in the world. If you study architecture, you will achieve the Royal Institute of British Architects professional accreditation, which means if you do the first part, your undergraduate degree, then you do the master's, part 2, and then you do part 3, the professional practice. You have a recognised architectural qualification to practice as an architect in the UK, but many other countries, including Malaysia, Canada, Australia, and the countries that are linked to the UK system. So each program is different. You can see which programs have got accreditations, and you can see what those accreditations are. And it's useful to look at if you're going to go into a profession such as accountancy, architecture, trying to think of the others which you need. I think those 2, accountancy, architecture, because you need, when you're doing your degree, in order to be a qualified architect internationally and being able to work in different countries for different employers, you need to have a accreditation as well as a degree. Right. Okay. One of the other reasons to choose XJTLU is I think XJTLU offers students a very high level of support in terms of academic support and pastoral non-academic support. So how is this done? When you join, you are allocated an academic advisor and a DA development advisor. And the academic advisor is the person you can contact throughout your degree if you've got academic problems, or, you know, at the moment, students got their exam scores last week and they're looking, oh, I didn't do well in this exam, what happened? You can talk to your academic advisor and try and find out how to solve the problem if a problem occurs in your study. And your development advisor is the person who you can talk to pretty much any time if you've got other issues. You've maybe got money worries, or your accommodation, you don't get on with your flatmates, or what else. You want to discuss, you know, some personal problem, you want to go to the counselling service, your development advisor can help.
You need a doctor. You
need a doctor, something, you just, you know, a bit like your big brother or your mum and dad, but maybe a bit less strict, because you're adults when you go to university. Somebody who can help you with these aspects of life. Most students who come to XJTLU are leaving home for the first time. They've been at high school. This is the first time they've left home. The first time for international students, they've lived outside their home country. So we provide a very high level of support. We also have a really, really excellent counselling service. So this is for issues, you know, like anxiety, stress, relationship problems. If you're starting to feel lonely and something like this, and there's counsellors available, pretty much you can book a counselling session within 1, 2, or 3 days of making the initial request. And they're truly excellent. The counselling service is in English, and you definitely, I think, will find during your time as a student that it's a great relief to be able to have a counselling service if, you know, you come across challenges during the student period. Careers. So the university's got a good career service. This involves quite basic things such as training for how to write your CV, training for how to do a job interview, practice job interviews. We run job fairs for everybody, but we have specific job fairs once a year for international students where companies are looking for hiring international students. Then company visits, what else? Career mentor. It's possible you can get a mentor, like somebody in a particular field who could be your mentor and give you advice about how to get into that.
Internship support.
Oh yeah, internships. We can't guarantee internships unless you're enrolled in the programs at the Tai Sang campus. All the other programs, an internship is something you do, you arrange it yourself, and you don't have to do it, but you have to do some work placement. So you have to do some hours where you've shown that you've done some work in a non-student environment, non-study environment. So what we try to do is search for internships and then advertise them to you through our student network. And there's quite a few. I wouldn't say there's probably more students than there are internships available. That's always the case, but there are plenty that if you try and you really get onto them, you can get an internship during your university life.
It's also, again, sorry to interrupt, but it's worth pointing out that they can also do the internship requirement at home.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have said that. So what I'm talking about is we arrange internships in China, mostly in Suzhou or Shanghai. So we're looking for the local opportunities. In fact, many students take internships in their home countries, and we have in the business school internships in overseas as well. So there are opportunities for your internships during the time. If you do a program at the Taishan campus, then it's rather different. The internships are in the program and they're either done with a company on site or after the second year, you do an internship with a company that's been partly arranged in the summer holidays in the company. So it's the internships are compulsory and they're a part of the program. And alumni support, we have alumni chapters in Korea, Indonesia, the UK, the US, several places, Shanghai obviously. So there's alumni opportunities, and we might run alumni events in your country in the next few months. So look out for those if you want to meet some of our recent alumni. IT support, yes. If your computer breaks, you can go to IT. And English language support, okay, I missed that one. Most international students' English language level is pretty good, pretty high, but it doesn't have to be. Our admission criteria for year one is IELTS equivalent 5.0. And if you're in the IELTS 5.0 range, you don't need to worry too much when you join that you won't be able to do the course, because in the first year, if you join with that IELTS 5.0 in year one, you will get a very large amount of English language tuition. And in addition to the modules that you will be able to do if your level is relatively low, is you'll be able to do the extra support that happens every single week on Wednesday afternoons. So students often think, I've got to be really high English level to join XJTLU. Yes, if you're going to join year two, you have to be quite high, 6.5. But to join year one, you can catch up in year one and improve your English hugely within 1 year, the first year. Okay, so as mentioned, we issue 2 degrees for undergraduates. University of Liverpool degree, it's the same degree certificate exactly as the certificate you would have if you were in Liverpool. And the XJTLU Chinese Ministry of Education issued degree. So that's helpful for those students who want to stay in China and work in China. The XJTLU degree means that you've got a local degree, which gives you extra points in terms of immigration for if you've got a job. Also, you can join what's called a 2+2 program. This is something that happens in year 2. So if you study for the first 2 years here, you have a choice to go to Liverpool for the following 2 years. Our prices, I'll come to this at the end, are different. Liverpool is more expensive than us, and you don't have to go to Liverpool, and you don't have to make your mind up about it until you're in year 2. So you can keep your option open. It really depends on you, and you don't have to make a decision until around May in the second year of your program. If you stay at XJTLU, it means it makes no difference really in terms of the outcome. The degrees are the same. It's just that the location is different. All of our programs here in China are taught 100% in English. And I hear that's the case in Liverpool, but some people's Scottish accents I've been speaking to recently, it makes you wonder. Now, one advantage of being in China for the first 2 years or for the whole 4 years is that you will be able to learn Chinese alongside your degree. So you choose your major, let's say you choose chemistry. In year 1, you'll do around 25% of your credit will be Chinese language. So if you're from zero beginner to advanced level, it doesn't matter what your level is when you join the appropriate level. We've got lots of language levels. And then you'll start learning Chinese. In year 2, you can carry on learning Chinese. And so by the time you've reached the end of year 2, normally the students have reached a level, if they started with 0 Chinese, they've reached the HSK, Hanyu level 4. So you can see that it's quite an achievement. They've actually been able to pick up very functional Chinese. Many students then take it beyond that and become completely fluent. And I would recommend students to try to do that if you can, because speaking Chinese is a really very big advantage in the job market. So,
not sure if that's true.
If you want to also do study abroad, but you feel like, okay, I don't want to study abroad for 2 years at Liverpool, I'd like to do study abroad maybe this summer or just for 1 semester, you can do that. We've got 106 partner universities all over the world in every continent. If you, for example, are a business, you're doing a business program, you can do study abroad in quite a few places in Europe, in Australia, in North America. Some programs have only got 1 study abroad partner, and some programs have got no study abroad partners because the whole program it's either not happened yet or the program is not suited to it for some reason. However, every summer we have what's called summer abroad. So many of our partners give XJTLU students the free summer places on their summer programs for short-term study. And there's a big fair in November. You can find out about the opportunities, and probably I'm pretty certain that if you apply for the free summer places during your time here, you will get a free summer place at some point. You might not get it the first time you apply, but there are plenty of summer opportunities, and there are also plenty of partners where we've got a discount on their programs. So you can look on our website, you can see a big list. Study abroad is very popular here. Lots of students want to study abroad, and we've paid a lot of attention to trying to find programs that are in wide geographical areas. So not just North America and Europe. We've got programs in Southeast Asia, in Japan, in South America, and there's quite a lot of variety. Oh, more. Right, semester or year abroad. These are the programs where you can go for a semester or a year. For example, if you chose biological science in your 3rd year, you could spend the 3rd year of your program at the University of Leeds. You pay the tuition fee to XJTLU, so you pay our normal tuition fee. You don't pay any more. You just pay the standard fee, and then you go for 1 year to Leeds and do their program and bring back the credits, and that becomes part of your degree. So you can see there's quite a range. Most of the study abroad options are in the business school. The reason for that is because, honestly, the business programs are easy to match with programs in business around the world, because many business schools have the same accreditation. So it's very easy for business students to go to other universities and study very similar curriculum. That's why it's very, not balanced, and it's the business school that has a lot of partners, but it's not. There are other programs in civil engineering, in architecture, chemistry, biology, where you can also study abroad, but it's not as common as you would have with the business programs. Okay, so we have also, in terms of giving students extra support, we have a scheme that's called Extended Study Scheme. So after year one, you can take extra modules
5 minutes left on it.
in addition to your main program. Why would you want to do this? Give yourself lots more work. Because students often like to do something extra that's not, they want, they're in their degree, they're focused on a single discipline or a relatively narrow range, but they feel like, okay, I am an engineer, but I feel like I should do some business management because that might be really useful for when I become a fully qualified engineer. I might need to manage a project. So you can take extra modules, which will, according to your interests, which will complement your degree. Or you could just do it because you're interested. So, you could be studying, let's see, environmental science, and you think, okay, I've always been interested in cinema, so I'm going to take this module on world cinema. You just do it as a hobby, as an interest. So this is the way that XJTLU has kind of allowed students to expand their curriculum. So ESS, you can do it after the first year. You can pursue your academic interests. You can do it according to something that will help your main academic interests or something completely different. And you can do up to 5 credits per semester. You have to pay extra money unless you're an international student and it's Chinese language. For Chinese languages, you don't have to pay any extra money. That's part of your program. You can add according to your interest, and we do not charge because we want our international students to have a good chance to learn Chinese because the degree, our university is in China. Study areas. Okay. I'm not going to say much about these slides. You can get the slide. We're going to send the slides later. Yes. So you can study this in detail. We have undergraduate programs, master's programs, PhD programs, and some non-degree programs. UG is here. Like I said, most subjects, no medicine, no law, no dentistry, no veterinary sciences. Here we are. Students often ask, what's your best major? It's very hard to answer. So, well, let's say what I would answer. The most popular major for international students, the one with the most international students, is international business with a language and some of the computer science programs. I don't know why, that's just a trend over the last few years. Those programs are very popular with international students. Which is our best major? I guess if you look at it from a ranking point of view, then it's the electrical engineering, computer science, those technology subjects. Okay, best, it totally depends on what you want to study and what you're interested in. There's no best, it's what's best for you, I think. Masters. So we also have master's degrees, taught master's degrees mostly. They're listed here. If you take a master's degree at University of XJTLU, you receive a University of Liverpool master's degree. We do not give you a XJTLU degree certificate because we have to operate the programs for 10 years before we qualify to give our own degrees. So currently, all postgraduate students, masters, PhD, receive a University of Liverpool master's or PhD degree. We've got a lot of masters. I'm not going to go through all of them. They're mostly 18 months in duration. Some of them are 2 years, but most 18 months. If you look at our website, you'll see that every year there are new master's programs. So this is an area where there's lots of development and lots more programs being added.
Right, that's moving on.
So,
right. Okay, we said we'd tell you more about Taisang, which we'll do here. I'll try and do it as speedily as possible. I recognise time is passing. So this is the brand new Taisang Entrepreneur College. Entrepreneur, as you probably know, is a French-British word for business people, essentially, or industry. And this college, I'll show you on the map, it is the pink area in the middle, kind of between us in SIP on the left and Shanghai on the right. So it's kind of between those two places. It's about an hour on the bus from here and probably about an hour on the train from central Shanghai.
No.
Not even.
19 minutes.
19?
19 minutes.
Wow, okay, I didn't know. I've not done the journey. Great. You'll see the programs they offer there are all very modern. It is business and technology, essentially. So to dash through them, you've got intelligent manufacturing, innovation, robotics, computing, advanced computing, AI, digital resources, cultural technology, intelligent finance and business, Internet of Things, industry and society, and so on. So they're not your traditional degrees. This isn't like English language or business studies. These are cutting edge collaborations with business in order to make you the future leaders of these particular industries and to really give you the kind of experience and skills that most traditional degrees don't. So it's very innovative in and of itself. Look at the first bullet point here. Unlike other programs, Kirsty did already mention this, but every student on an undergraduate program, which we've just talked about, will be cooperating, working with business for 600 hours. That is a very high level of engagement for an undergraduate program. It's kind of unprecedented, really. And as part of that, learning and teaching is co-delivered and owned by industry, people situated in industry, as well as lecturers situated in the university. It's very new, very innovative. And the programs have a major and minor design, which is slightly different, again, to a more traditional program that tends to be just a major. So these are very innovative. These are really for students looking for something new, something different, something cutting edge. What's also interesting about these programs is they offer the opportunity for you to spend 1 year instead of 2 in Liverpool. So you do 2 in Taisang, 1 in Liverpool, 1 back in Taisang. If you happen to be doing these 2 routes, data science and big data technology and intelligent supply chains. So those are very popular. Quite a lot of students are quite excited by the idea of going to Liverpool just for 1 year rather than the entire second half of their degree. And Liverpool is, you're going to hear about our fees, but you'll notice it is a little bit more in Liverpool. It's 24,800 for the year, pounds, £2,400, which is, I think our prices are presented in Chinese money, aren't they?
Yes.
So £24,800 is probably about 220,000 RMB, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's considerably more than just staying here, as you will see very, very soon. You'll receive these slides from Christy and be able to digest all these numbers. They are difficult to take in immediately. Taisang, as you can see, incredibly modern. I mean, it's only really opened in the last kind of calendar year. Everything is in spanking brand new condition. It's a wonderful design. It's bigger than it looks, if you know what I mean. So you turn up there and it's quite an awe-inspiring design for a campus, and it's really got the very, very latest technology from top to bottom. There's a sports centre here, I believe, and these three buildings contain similar sporting equipment to we had in Suzhou, with the addition of this, as you'll see on the bottom right, Olympic swimming pool. So that's very, very popular and a lovely addition to the university. There's more photos. Again, you'll be able to enjoy those at your leisure later. Teaching and learning spaces, so lecture design as well as flexible learning space, classroom design. There's more. And even more. And even more. So again, you'll be able to spend time looking at those. Okay, so we're going on to what I think is the final stretch now to discuss
admission and fees.
Yes.
So I'm going to hurry up a little bit. If you want to join our undergraduate degrees, you have got two ways to do it. You can join year one or you can join year two. Why is it different? So the reason why is that if you go to Liverpool and you do a Liverpool degree, it's 3 years long. If you do a degree in China, it's 4 years long, because the education systems, high school and middle school, which happen before the university level, are slightly different lengths. So if you have gone to you're studying in an education system where you do a certain kind of qualification, such as a international baccalaureate or an A-level, or what else, AP papers, things like that, you would normally be able to go directly to a British university in the first year. You can enter our year two because you've got what's called an advanced placement. In XJTLU, our year one is what we call a general education year. You study the foundational aspects that will prepare you for the very focused degree subject that you choose. So in year one, you're doing improving your English if your English level is not so great. You're studying Chinese, unless your Chinese level is amazing. You're studying maths if you are doing a subject in technology or sciences or engineering. You're studying critical thinking if you're preparing to go into a humanities subject. You're studying basic subject content in preparation for your very detailed degree. So if you go to most high schools in the world, you would join year one of our degree, just like the Chinese students are doing. But in some cases, and we have a list, you can look by your country on our website, some cases you can skip year one and join year two directly. In addition to academic background at your high school, we're looking for a kind of average of BBB, so above average level. That's what the kind of admission requirement we're looking at. We would also need you to demonstrate that you have got English language ability. So as I said before, if you're joining year one, it's the minimum of 5, IELTS 5. If you're joining year two, it's IELTS 6.5. So you can see on these slides what you need to do to enter if you want to join in year two. It's quite a bit higher because you're going to miss the first year. So you need to be sure, we need to be sure that you're ready to dive straight into the degree at quite a high level. Sorry, I did it in the wrong order. This is the English language requirements. You can see IELTS, TOEFL equivalent. If your English is not great and you're worried about it, I would say that you could test it with, we've got a test called password test that we give to students. who can't do IELTS or haven't done IELTS, and there's a condition on trying to meet an English requirement. So there's a way to do that. Now, I'm not going to go through these notes. Some programs have an extra requirement, and if you want to check, this is what they are and what the requirement is. It's usually in a subject that needs you to have a very specific background. So architecture, you need to have an interview because they want to see your portfolio of the work that you've done. So, the design work, artwork, they want to see you've got a particular talent for the subject that you're going to be studying. Filmmaking also has a interview or a portfolio requirement. If you want to check, look at the slide. It's not many, it's a minority of programs have extra requirements, and we can give you advice on how to prepare those extra requirements. Masters. Okay, if you're applying for a master's, we're looking at you having a good average, above average performance in your undergraduate program. So the equivalent of a B or higher, or a 2-1 degree if it's a UK marked degree, or a GPA of 3 or above. So you can see the requirements. Now, for the masters, each program has a slightly different English language requirement. Higher if it's a subject where you have to do a lot of writing and communication in English, and slightly lower if it's a technology, STEM, natural sciences degree. How to apply? So you apply online through our website. You have to upload certain documents, and you don't have to do it all at once. You create an account, you can look through what you need to gather, you can start to fill in the application form, save it, come back to it, gather the documents. It's normal, very standard to most universities. For masters, there are a few more requirements, including references. We can give you advice about what kind of documents you might need to provide, and if it's not clear, just contact us by email and ask us. Okay, fees, the big question, how much are our fees? So undergraduate programs are standard price. Every subject has exactly the same price. So all of them are this year 88,000 RMB. And when you join, your fee is the same fee every year until you graduate. So 88,000 for the undergraduate. And if you apply, if you get a place and you pay your deposit early, we offer a discount. That's because it's helpful for us, because it means we get to prepare better in the summer rather than have everybody waiting till the last minute when it becomes more difficult. So early bird, if you definitely want to accept your offer, then you're going to save quite a bit of money if you pay the deposit before this deadline. For the masters, each program has a different price. So you need to go to the website and check each program, but there's an approximate range there for the full program. Okay, so 135,000 to 200,000 for the full program. We also have Chinese language courses, which I mentioned, the non-degree programs that happen in the summer and in the autumn term and the spring term. We have a range of non-degree, and I will talk about that later. So another very big question, scholarships. Are we doing another scholarship webinar before the summer?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So scholarship is a big question everybody has. We actually have a dedicated webinar on scholarships, and I strongly suggest that you join that if you want to know all the details. I'm not going to talk about all the details now. I'm just going to say that we have scholarships, and I strongly recommend you apply. And the scholarships are slightly different for undergraduate compared to the masters. And the rate of success for international students who meet our entry requirements for undergraduates is quite high. So we have full scholarships. That is very hard to get, very, very academically competitive. But we also have smaller scholarships, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%. And I think if you're a good student with a relatively good grade within our criteria, if you apply, you've got a fairly high chance to be considered to maybe win one of these scholarships. Right. If you are from Hong Kong, Taiwan, or Macau, you are going to probably be able to get, during your time at XJTLU, a government scholarship. They are not huge amounts, but it's very nice when you see them advertised. We don't advertise them in advance because we don't get told about them in advance. The students join, and then after a few months, we get the opportunity arises from the government, and we tell our students, and you apply. And I think during your program, you've got a high chance, if you're Hong Kong, Taiwan, Macau, to win one of these scholarships. We also have, if your grades are within a certain range, at the end of each year, you can win a progression scholarship. And you don't need to apply, it's just allocated if your academic performance is very excellent. If you go to Liverpool on the 2+2, you get a 10% reduction on the Liverpool fee, which is quite a large amount of money. Master's scholarships. I would honestly say these are more competitive than the undergraduate scholarships because there's more applicants for the master's programs. However, if you are apply for a master's scholarship, you have the opportunity to talk about many more things than you do when you're applying for an undergraduate scholarship, because you've done your degree, you've probably had work experience, you've probably maybe, traveled and done lots of exciting things. And I think when you're writing your personal statement, this is where you can really show that you're not just academically good, but you're, very talented, you're going to make a great contribution to the university. So master's scholarships are assessed slightly differently. There's more applicants, I have to say, but I think international students especially, you've got sort of a different background, and it's interesting for the panel to see, okay, we've got a student who's applied for a country we've never had a student before, and that's really interesting for the university. So highlight, your own skills background that's very particular to you, and I think that will stand out in the scholarship applications for the masters. Okay, if you come from certain countries that are called friendship countries, not that all countries are not friends, but certain countries we've allocated as special friends because we have, for whatever reason, got a relationship with those countries through our student population, through our relationships with universities there, etc. So if you're from Russia, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Nigeria, Ghana, or international students who live in the Chinese mainland, you are probably highly likely to be able to get a 30% off the tuition fee if you meet the criteria. One program, MSc in Sustainable Construction, has got 100% scholarship. This is from a special fund provided by the local government. And some master's programs, which are the research masters, masters of research in chemistry, biology, pharmaceutical sciences, etc., there are 100% scholarships available for those research masters. So look at our website and you'll see which ones have these special scholarships that are attached to them. PhD. Look on our website. It's too complicated to go into detail here, but there are many opportunities for fully funded PhDs at XJTLU for excellent students. and you don't have a deadline at any particular point in the year. Every few months, a number of new PhD projects will appear that you can apply to with full funding. And that is, I mean, the only thing I can say is you need to check the website frequently to keep on top of the new opportunities. And the quality of the supervision and the PhD at XJTLU is really, 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 really high, extremely high. The student level is extremely high, so you have to be, I would say, somebody who's finished their undergraduate or master's degree with a first class or near to first class degree, or somebody who then had very relevant work experience in the area in which their PhD is going to be. Right. If we have a special promotion, we do this every year. If you apply and you pay your deposit for a degree program, we will allow you, allocate you, it's up to you if you which one you want to do. We'll give you a Chinese language course in the summer or for the whole semester for free without the tuition fee. Why do we do this? Because some students want to arrive early, and we'd like them to arrive early because it means we have less people to pick up at the airport all at once, but also because having a little bit of Chinese at the beginning of your degree is going to help you settle in. It's going to help you get around, and it means that we have less people asking the development advisor for help knowing where the hospital is, etc. So it's very selfish. We want you to speak good Chinese, so that we don't need to have so many staff at the beginning giving you lots of help. So take advantage of our selfishness and choose one of these programs for free. It's also a great way to, have a relaxing start to your program. Come a little bit earlier. It's very relaxed, friendly. You'll meet lots of new friends. By the time the rest of the students come, you will be the experts. You will be the ones who the students ask to find out, where's the nearest McDonald's, where's the bus stop. You will be the experts and feel very, very confident, I think, as a new student. Okay, So we've reached the end. If you'd like to find out more, then I would definitely say study our website in detail. But if you want to keep on top of development, scholarship opportunities, the webinars we're going to be having, anything that we do in the next few months, we advertise it on the WeChat global channel. I thoroughly recommend you get WeChat if you're considering studying in China, because if you don't need it now, you will need it soon. And it's a great app. And if you sign up to WeChat and you can join our global account, you can get all of the information about XJTLU, but also all the updates that happen and all the opportunities that arise. So, do we do Q&A session? Yes, we could do some Q&A.
Yeah, sorry that we take
so much too long
time to listen to us, but we really have much to say about the XJTLU we're very proud of. So we're gonna give extra 5 minutes for the Q&A session. So please raise your hand or unmute yourself if you have any questions.
Student ask question. Tell us about the scholarship for militaries. But we did not have.
A question about, do we have any military scholarships? No, we don't have any military scholarships.
Any other questions?
I think we got new message. Oh, yeah, we got it.
So exactly.
Agent, it's from ICANN.
What's the orientation date for this year's intake?
Right, the last week of August, I think. We're going to just check. The semester begins in the first week of September. So the last week of August is when we ask international students to arrive We pick you up from the airport.
I think it's 26, 27.
Yeah.
August.
26 to the 29th of August. And basically, the students have to arrive during a period of days. They can choose which day. We meet you at the airport, we bring you back to campus, and then we start the orientation when all of the 4 days has passed. And during that orientation, you'll go through a lot of basic processes like get your residence permit, find out how to open your bank account. But it's also very much a social introduction where you'll be meeting all the other new students. You'll have been able to go on a campus tour, find out, so you're ready when the semester begins the following week.
I just sent the calendar to the.
Oh, great.
We've sent the calendar so that you can see the start of semester dates. Any other questions?
Yes. The student asked, when is the scholarship webinar?
You were planning, I think that's probably by the end of May or the beginning of June. Yeah. And we do also have recorded the one, the previous that we have. So we have uploaded to our YouTube account. So you can send us email to the public account international. So we will forward you the link to view the recorded one.
Yeah. Any more questions?
Support. Is there any support that's important
to what?
Is there any support assistance available for students departing from Indonesia
departing? Yes. So this is done in 2 ways. For every student from every country, what we do is in June and July, and I think also August, definitely in July and August, we have a pre-departure webinar, which is much longer than this one, even longer than this one. And this is where we give you lots of practical information, and also we give you lots of opportunity to ask every kind of question that you've got, so that everything is clear about what you need to do. So that's online. And you can definitely join. You can join all of them.
Right, I'm leaving this.
One of them, they're pretty much the same, but you can join. If you've got more questions, you can join several. Now, if you're in Indonesia, we do have an Indonesian office, and I think they might do some on-site support as well. That will probably happen once. And we haven't settled the date, but there's support virtually and also on-site. You definitely will have every opportunity to ask every question you have and get the answers before you set off. I'm certain of that. Any other questions?
I'm going to leave. I love you. I'm just going to go out alone. Okay, I'll wait till you get back.
So it will be the end of the webinar. So thank you for staying with us for the past 1 hour and a half.
Sorry for going over.
Taking so much time. So thank you for coming. So I would like to take this opportunity of wishing you every success of your future studies, and hope to see you in September,
late August
at XJTLU campus. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Take care.
Yeah.